You'll notice he no longer suffers delusions of humanity.
Affirmative.
Now listen here, you little bitch. I'm gonna ask you some real simple questions and I want some real simple answers.
Has editing your content become a burden, or you just don't have the skill set?
I wish I could focus on content production, but post-editing takes so much time and effort.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We'll look no further. Here at Asylum 99 Studios, I can help you create professional quality videos that will be sure to captivate viewers. With my creativity and skill, along with your content, assets, and ideas, I can bring your vision into the simulation. I offer the following services: video clipping and organization, content creation, VFX, SFX, and motion graphics, intro and outro assets. Requests may be taken upon further discussion. So if you're a content creator, short on time because you're out living your best life, or you wish you could focus all your energy into producing content, reach out to Asylum 99 Studios today.
What are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for?
Don't settle for mediocre videos. Hire me as your freelance video editor and create videos that meet your standards. Asylum 99 Studios. Release your creativity.
What's going on here, Kim folks? Today I'm going to be bringing y'all The Cult of Him, Part 2. I'm not going to waste no time, but I am going to give you a warning. You're going to be infuriated. If you're sentient, you're going to be infuriated by what you hear and where it's been hiding at the entire time. So without further ado, we're just going to get into it.
We're going to talk to somebody that I have known for a number of years, who works very closely alongside law enforcement in the counter-trafficking arena. We can't show you her face because she works undercover, and we have altered her voice to protect her identity. But I am very familiar with her operations. She has been responsible for some of the most significant busts in the history of counter-trafficking, and her work on the front line is something that will change how you look at all of this. And if you're a mom or a dad, it's really going to bother you a lot. One of the areas I want to start with is media grooming, and I want to show you an article from the Guardian newspaper, which is a leftist publication out of the UK, that is all about furries. Okay, and furries is something kind of odd, kind of weird. Nobody really wants to talk about it in the mainstream, but it is very much part of the gaming community. It's part of the TikTok world and the YouTube world, and it's part of what surrounds all of our children today.
I'd just like to say, as this thing kicks off, I'm well aware of who these people were, and I've been aware of these people since roughly middle school. These people were in school with me. They were the freaks and geeks. And then some of these people, you probably never know.
So what you see is a form of media grooming that was published in the Guardian. I'm calling it media grooming. That's the term I'm making up, because this article is all about how there's nothing to see here. You know, just because you got a bunch of adults dressing up as furries, don't listen to those far-right people that tell you that this is somehow connected to trafficking and the trans movement and pedophilia, because they're far-right crazies, right? And we all know that nobody should pay attention to them.
She just brought up a play that we've covered here in Room 99, right? They do it, you call it out, and they call you crazy. Or, if they can't convince you that you're crazy, they try to make you think that you're a bigot or that you're intolerant. They disarm you and they try to make you back down. Right. the world, or what she's getting ready to talk about, it's been out for a very long time. I don't know when it exactly started, but I caught wind of it in the early 2000s. Single digits, early 2000s. Between like 04 and 09, okay? Closer to 04. All right?
Lest you be called, prejudiced in some way. But why I wanted to bring this to you is that our next guest has seen the other side of that world firsthand, and just in the last few days rescued a young boy from that world, who was autistic, by the way.
I told you, man. I told you. Don't fuck with me. I told you, no fucking kids.
Because it's another thing we don't talk about, how much these communities prey, how much the trafficking is targeted towards the most vulnerable of our kids. So I want to bring in our guest here to tell you, to give you a sense of the reality from her perspective, what she has actually seen on the street. Do we have Jackie? Is she with us? Okay. So
yes, I'm here.
Jackie, welcome to the show. I know this is a big deal for you. You don't like to be out in front of this. All of your work is pretty much in the shadows and much of it in the dark, literally. So can you give us a sense from your perspective, right? When you see articles like this that are out there that are normalizing the world of furries, it gives a history as it being kind of a nerdy thing, it's kind of a friendly thing, it's a nice community, and why should we pay attention to people who are warning?
Well, I think the dude is a misnomer. I've believing that anime and the furrydom is all an innocence, because it is absolutely not. When you look at the most vulnerable of our society, it is going to be children. It's going to be children that are separated from social functions. They have social awareness issues sometimes. We've got kids that are even autistic that are heavily into the gaming community, and that's what we find a lot of the furrydom fantasy, the anime. But the problem with it is that on the adult level, when you're looking at it, it seems like it's just innocuous. It's just people out there having fun. But when you start peeling back the layers of things that are hidden in the chat rooms and in Discord in the gaming community, you start looking at pedophilia. You start looking at the porn, the hentai, and these are very adult conversations, adult materials that our kids are now getting access to because they're connecting with these groups, and they're not innocent. It's actually very dangerous, and we're seeing it a lot in trafficking because they're pulling kids in, they're getting them to chat with them, they're building these fantasy type of relationships, and these kids believe that these are their friends, that they're part of this chat tribe, and the next thing you know, they're running off to go meet them somewhere, and that's where things get really, really squirrely and scary when it comes to trafficking.
Well. We're back at the most common culprits. Raggedy ass parents who try to nurture and grow a family out of order.
Oh my God, he's right.
Because you know where these freaks came from? Came from my generation. The ninjas that was getting the first full unfettered access to the internet. And many of the people in my generation lost their mind, as you can see. Not all of us, as you can see, have lost our minds, but a lot of us have. And I'm not here to beat up on the parents, although I'm gonna keep, holding you accountable. I ain't got time to be yelling and screaming today. We're gonna get to business with this because this is important. If you're letting your kids use electronic devices that have internet connection and you haven't installed all the blockers and you're not going behind your kids and checking what they're doing and looking over their shoulder, you're wrong. But Rando, the kids, they need privacy. Privacy is how all of this stuff happens. Because you send them out into the world to hang with their friends. Their friends are on some BS because their friends' parents is most likely trash. Then they bring that stuff back home, and then they're doing it, and you're giving them their privacy, and they're doing whatever they want, and you're never coming in there checking on them, stepping on them. And it just becomes a part of life. And by the time you realize what's going on, it's far too late. Way to go. Should be ashamed of yourselves.
So you're talking about, the furry world, right? On the surface, it looks like there's nothing that they're really for parents to worry about. But that's right adjacent to the anime world. And then you mentioned hentai. And can you explain what that is for people who aren't necessarily familiar with that kind of terminology?
It's anime, and it's extreme graphic sex. And it's, sometimes there's AI generated pictures in there. And when it comes to the fantasy world of what these people see and what these people interact with, even in the furry world, you could be dealing with somebody that just likes to dress up in costumes and go to Comic-Con. It goes from that to people that believe in zoophilia, which is bestiality. It's people that have sex in their costumes. It's people that post cartoon animal characters having graphic sex. It's a different world than what you see on the surface. Most people don't know that this exists unless they actually go out there to research it. The problem is that your kids do see it, and they do have access to it. You could go to open forums on Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and you can see these characters having sex. Graphic sex is uploaded to Pornhub, to the porn channels. It is something that, you take a woodland furry creature, which seems very innocent and cute, and you entice kids to this fantasy world, and the next thing you know, you're looking at graphic sex.
All of what that young lady, I assume, because they use the voice changer, everything she's saying is true. And this goes back to the early 2000s, when people my age were in late elementary, middle, and high school. We were the ones I went from a flip phone to a smartphone by the time I was out of high school. Got a flip phone in middle school, left high school with smartphones. But parents aren't vigilant because they're too busy being slaves to the system to pay attention to their damn kids. One parent being a slave to the system is enough. The other one needs to be on watch, on guard.
What's wrong with y'all women? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
And as far as these furry people go, because if you ever thought about something, you don't know if it's ever, if they have the full body freak suit on, the Furvert uniform, if they have that on, you don't know if it's a man or a woman, because you live in the rainbow mobster era, where dudes run around acting like women, so you never know, especially if you can't see their face. And I have furries on the same contract that I have the rainbow mobsters on. Wear your costume, motherfucker. But if I catch you messing with children, it's up.
You damn motherfucker! What you think I am, huh? What you think I am, a fucking worm like you? I told you, man. I told you, don't fuck with me. I told you, no fucking kids. No, but you wouldn't listen. Well, you stupid fuck. Look at you now.
One of the things we're looking at right here is a Facebook group called Furry Love, right? Which is all about furries and a furry community. We had to blur it out because it's this is an artist drawing that somebody in that group created, but it's too pornographic for us to show on air. And if you read the conversation that below, you see that they're talking about furry communities on Discord, but also talking about people who are disabled and asking questions about that, raising it. I think there's one term, there's the ADPL or something, as adult baby diaper love, ABDL. I mean, and one of the users in that group makes the point that there are minors in that group. And so how common is this on social media sites like Facebook?
Now, listen here, you little bitch. I'm gonna ask you some real simple questions, and I want some real simple answers.
And before she gets to that, why are your kids on Facebook? And why are they into that kind of stuff? Most people are going to say, and be truthful when they say they didn't learn it at home. Of course they didn't. But you parents sent your kids out into this evil world and thought they was going to come back unscathed just because you don't see nothing wrong on the surface.
But I shouldn't have to tell you that. You should just know it. Oh.
Yeah, it might be wrong to keep your kids away from the society at large. And I'm not even going to say wrong. It might be anti-social. But at the same time, you sending your kids out and you don't know what they're going to come back with. I remember getting sent out into the world and coming back with bullshit. Luckily, I'm fucking sentient. Most of you people are mouth breathers.
Well, you can pull it up probably there. I would say anywhere between 50 to 60 groups that deal with this. And that's just Facebook. A lot of your minors aren't even on Facebook. They're on Snapchat and TikTok, but there are a few that probably trickle in there. But the fact that they even have a minors engaged in this conversation is what's disgusting. Because if you take an average person, they're not, when we talk about kids talking to adults about sex, it's exploitation. But in this furry community of an anime, I'm not sure why we're not doing more of a target, and looking at the sources of where this information comes from and watching some of these people that want to engage with minors. It's peeling back the layers and looking at these people and where they are in the gaming community and talking to these kids on Discord and getting into chat rooms. And then you go back and you look at some of the conversations that they have on other platforms and the things that they describe. They describe hypnotizing minors, that they describe having sex with minors, doping minors, sexually assaulting minors. And, that might be part of their fantasy. But what happens when they break out of that fantasy and they next level it up, and they can no longer be sexually gratified by talking about it or drawing pictures or creating images in AI, and they act out, with that minor. That's what we really need to be watching and need to be concerned about.
No, sorry.
What you people, and by you people, I mean these two women having a conversation, aren't thinking about is this. I'm from the 90s. Okay, when I say I'm from the 90s, I didn't come up in the 90s. I was born in the 90s. Okay, so I was coming up in the early 2000s. You people aren't thinking about if some people had tried this freaky shit when I was coming up, me and my friends, we'd actually beat them up. We're the early 90s millennials, we'd have beat your ass. But as I went through high school and people were coming up behind me, I was seeing the generations behind me getting soft. Because apparently you let the one above me tell it we soft. But what I'm getting at is this. When Obama got in, he did a whole lot for the LGBT community. After Obama got in, that's when the Rainbow Mafia took over the public education system. So you're asking, why would your kids talk to these people? You sent them to the public indoctrination camp to be indoctrinated by these people. These people are in the age range of your kids' teachers. You simple-minded motherfuckers.
Simple monkey-minded nigga come fucking pooped.
You lazy motherfuckers. You don't give a shit about your kid enough to educate them, so you'll go send them off to perverts. Excuse me, to furverts and perverts. You parents are a disgrace out here, and then y'all the ones looking around and what's going on? Your lack of parenting is what the fuck is going on.
Simple monkey-minded nigga come fucking pooped.
You weak motherfuckers. You slaves to the system. Y'all disgust me.
Simple monkey-minded nigga come fucking pooped.
Jackie, I mean, your point is not that every person who is a furry is a pedophile. I'm far from it. What you're trying to say is that what you are saying is that this community, right, is used as a cover by people who are pedophiles, and they use this is this a form of grooming? Is that what we're looking at?
Oh, of course. I mean, you have to think about people that try to connect in with minors, right? And you find them at all levels of, minor activities and minor interests.
I tell you, no fucking kids!
When you look at the gaming community and kids that the gaming world becomes their social outreach. Those become their online friends, almost their family. And they start having conversations about transgendering and the sex and gender modification.
I tell you, no fucking kids!
It goes into a very weird state. And when we've looked at some of these gaming developers and we've looked at some of the people that are acting with these kids, that's exactly what they're part of. And they're using this furry world, or this anime world, to connect with these kids, and then they start having conversations with them about sexuality and, misgendering and gender dysphoria and gender modification, which absolutely has nothing to do with the game that you're playing online. So they've used this as an inroad. And no, I'm not saying that everybody in that community, is part of this pedophilia network, but the pedophiles have absolutely found their way in. And they found you could be in a living room with your kids and you're on the computer and they're on their computer and you think they're just playing a game, and these monsters are in your living room.
That's because, contrary to popular belief, and I say this as a parent, most parents don't give a fuck about their young ones.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
And I see it in the way that they kids behave. See it in my own life. And it sickens me. Because everybody wants to act like nothing's wrong. And I'm crazy when I get up and say something and I start getting mad and acting crazy.
You ain't down with that? Shut your goddamn ass up.
I can't stand weak motherfuckers. Weak ass parents. A pedophile wouldn't be able to get your fucking kids if you were worth a damn.
Smell like bitch in here.
But y'all ain't shit. And your kids gonna suffer for it. Suffering for the sins of the parents. We ain't gonna say just of the father. The sins of the parents. Cause let's bring it on back around since I'm getting in on the parent. Who holds majority custody of children? At least in these here United States. That would be whammon folk.
Oh my God, he's right.
And I guarantee it, y'all kids are the ones falling victim to this more so than kids with a strong father figure, which is their father in their life.
What's wrong with y'all women? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Debate that. You misandrous motherfuckers.
Bitch, I give a fuck what you're thinking. Fuck your thoughts.
Your misandry killed everybody. Or at least got us all stuck in the bear trap. While the predator walks down on us.
No, sorry.
That's what's scary.
Yeah, so that is very scary for any parent, because look at this, what we got up here. Bucks County man ordered held trial on child rape charges during furry party. So this is what's interesting about this case is it shows you how it's adults dressed as furries having a party that are passing around this 8-year-old boy who was raped repeatedly over a number of years. And there's a bunch of, in that thing, there's a bunch of other men.
You die, motherfucker! What you think I am, huh? What you think I am, fucking worm like you? I told you, man. I told you, don't fuck with me. I told you, no fucking kids. No, but you wouldn't listen. Well, you stupid fuck. Look at you now.
Where are the fucking parents? Don't y'all notice that's the reoccurring theme here? The parents seem to be nowhere to be found. Where the fuck are y'all, and what the fuck are y'all doing when you are around? It's disgusting.
charged in that. One of them was charged with child rape, possession of child pornography, and related charges. Another one in that group of pedophiles charged with unlawful contact with a minor and attempted involuntary deviant sexual intercourse. I mean, statutory sexual assault related charges. Another guy in that pedophile ring, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse with a child, unlawful contact with a minor, and related charges. And another one charged with bestiality and animal cruelty. That's another pedophile in that ring, in that bust of men who were dressing up as furries and raping children and animals at these furry parties. And that's, that's a reality, right? In fact, at Comic-Con, you mentioned that early on, there was just a trafficking ring was busted at the most recent Comic-Con.
Let me show you another way you've parents groomed your own kids into this behavior. Letting them walk up to mascots at Disneyland. You stupid motherfuckers don't even realize that child trafficking, when you take your kids to Disneyland, there's children being trafficked beneath your fucking feet.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
You motherfuckers did this. You weak motherfuckers.
Conference, there were a number of people arrested, and I believe 10 victims. At least one of them, a 16-year-old girl who was freed when they broke up that pedophile ring at Comic-Con. So what you see here is a pattern where traffickers are using, comics, anime, the furry community, transgenderism. Everything, it's a community that they can infiltrate, and they target the most vulnerable, and parents have no idea that when they open the door to these worlds, they are opening up the door to some of the most evil people on earth.
That's because most parents ain't worth a fucking damn. That percentage is over 90%. 90% of you motherfuckers ain't shit. Why? Because we have a high population of motherfuckers out here running around that ain't shit. Y'all were posted on guard for that young sentient soul, and you neglect your duties trying to chase your own selfish pursuits. Because who's supposed to be in these children's lives to protect them from this stuff? The mothers. And then when they get to high school age, middle school age, high school age, late elementary school age, pass them on to pops and we straighten them out. But if they pops ain't around, they're gonna be out here getting into this and other activities where predators are afoot.
Is that accurate?
It's very accurate, and it's something that I think the community that works in anti-trafficking needs to start discussing. They need to start taking this more seriously. This is not a victimless furry party where we're just all dressing up and being weird. Adults have, different levels of kink. We know that they have fetish parties all over the United States. We know they have fetish clubs. Adults can consent. But when you start going into a world of children and minors, especially minors that may have social skills, past abuse issues, or might have a spectrum disorder, and you are gaining their trust, and you're acting out on these games as these characters, and you're engaging in this false narrative world, and you're using, cute little furry little creatures to cartoon, just something these kids can connect to that gives them a safe space to be themselves without having to go to a party, and they're accepted, and these people gain their trust. It's what pedophiles do. It's what traffickers do. They groom children, and they find the most vulnerable in our society, and they find a window in, and nobody's paying attention to this.
And what y'all still dancing around is it's the parents' fault. Y'all trying to take the accountability away from parents and blame the predator. If you let mice and stuff live around your house, the snakes are coming. The bobcats are coming. Right? But, you know what else comes? The predator of the predator. Snakes come, then king snakes come. But when you kill off the king snakes, because you don't want to harm the rattlesnakes. Now you got rattlesnakes everywhere and nothing to eat them. What do you mean by that, Rando? When you stop the men of your society from being men, these predators gain the confidence to run free, because he knows that 99.9 of these sucker ass motherfuckers out here ain't gonna stop them. There's a small majority of people that will stop these monsters when they catch them. Rando, what the fuck you gonna do about it? I've never witnessed none of this, but I know what happens. And that's why I said, like I said at the beginning of the video, let me catch you, and it's up.
No, sorry.
Y'all have been lucky enough not to have crossed me. That's all there is to that.
Let's talk
really
about.
need to be paying attention.
Let's talk about the one thing that is probably the most underreported about this. Then it is how much boys are the target. I know you were just involved in the rescue of an autistic boy, and that prompted you and I to have a conversation about this. There are different categories of boys, right? You have femboys, BOI, and you have twinks, right, which is another form. Can you just explain what these categories are and what they mean and how vulnerable boys are in particular?
For some reason, this fandom targets boys more than they do girls. And most people don't understand in the world of trafficking that a trans kid or a trans person will garner 3 times the amount of a normal child.
Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
As far as money, and the #1 purveyor of that is couples.
Starting to make a whole lot of sense. Why they got Rainbow Mafia awareness in your children's public indoctrination camp.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
That you stupid ass motherfuckers keep sending your kids to.
Simple monkey-minded men come fucking pooped.
So that sounds bizarre, I know, but it is something
couples,
that we see
wait,
far
you got
more.
it. I just want to be clear. I understand this. So trans kids are worth 3 times what a normal kid is, a heterosexual kid is on the street in the trafficking world right now. Is that right?
Correct.
And the #1
Correct.
customer that is hiring or buying trans kids is married couples?
Let's be specific. Liberal married couples. You vote blue no matter who, motherfuckers. Hotties for Harris. You stupid motherfuckers did this. Now, the one thing I can't stand about the host is she's really in here trying to be shocked. Y'all be consumed in your own bullshit fantasy lives that you don't see what's really going on around you. And that's what makes me the maddest about fucking mouth-breathing NPC normie motherfuckers.
Yes, that's correct. And the fantasy part of this is they have a boy that has transitioned to a girl, and the femboy is a sissy boy, and if you, I guess in those terms, and then you have your what they call a twink, and that is usually just an effeminate boy that is not necessarily identifying as a female, but it's a challenge for them to break, and that becomes a really hot item and a hot target for them. They like taking what they call a twink and turning them or having sex with them as part of this very sick fantasy that they have.
I know I didn't have a channel way back then, but I've been saying this all along. There might be some good rainbow mobsters out there. People that don't want to harm children. And for y'all, I salute y'all. But there's a whole sector of that community is actually an invasive parasite. They didn't come in to be tolerated. They came in, used tolerance as a shield long enough for them to hook their tentacles into your children. And then once they did that, they let the mask fall off, and now you see that their whole intention was to get your children. Why? They can't turn all of us gay, so they got to go to the kids that can't defend themselves because their parents was too stupid to keep them at home to educate them. They retarded, mouth-breathing asses sent their kids out to school. Yes, Rando's cutting deep today. You know why? Because it's y'all fault.
Smell like bitch in here.
And you will see offers for this in the trafficking world and escort apps. And when they talk about twink, that's not a nice term. It is a boy. But we see that boys targeted far more in this realm than girls. Most of the time when people talk about trafficking, they think of it as being minor females. When it comes to this world of transgenderism and twins and femboys and furry culture, the biggest target is actually boys.
And what do you do with boys? Is there anywhere for them to go?
There are very few safe houses out there.
Man, this is some bullshit.
For boys, they need to have more.
Hey, femma bitches. All you feminist hags out there. You raggedy bitches. Tell me again how you live in a patriarchy.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
They need to actually look at developing safe houses that would be one-person units for the transgender kids. They do need a safe place to go, because I can tell you that depending upon the age of them, a lot of them are not even being picked up and taken into safety. The 17-year-olds seem to be falling through the cracks.
And another thing, only in a matriarchy, gynocentric, whatever the fuck you dumb hoes be talking about, could bullshit like this happen. In a patriarchy, where order is law, motherfuckers that participate in this would have their heads cut off publicly. There'd be men doing it. You understand? You weak ass bitches give these niggas slaps on the wrist and put them back on the street. At least that's who you vote for. The world is out of fucking order. We let women vote, and now pedophiles are in the schools and have all kinds of access to your children, because these bras will alienate the father, the person who will keep these fucking pedophiles away from your children.
Oh my God, he's right.
Stupid. So don't come on my videos looking shocked and surprised when Rando is cutting into these bitches' ass. Cause I'll be straight up with you. The vast majority of you hoes disgust me. And this ain't got nothing to do with your body or sexuality. Y'all, a lot of you bitches are horrible beings. Okay? That's how we got here. Most of y'all is on demon time. And ain't no men around here putting y'all to fucking check. Times are changing.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Because you know they have the saying, strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. Fuck all that. Strong men make good times, and these raggedy bitches drive it into the ground and make hard times and expect strong men to stand up and make good times again. Well, you know what, brothers? Here's what Rondo says. No more good times for nobody. Once all these good times are up and all shit done kicked off left and the barbarians is got to decapitate motherfuckers after we kill off the barbarian, ain't no more good times. Fuck all that. It's gonna be the school of hard knocks for the rest of eternity to keep humanity hard and ready to fight.
Smell like bitch in here.
Motherfucker, I'm sick of you weak ass motherfuckers.
As they're considered to be an age of consent, even though they're still in high school. And, you know, these kids don't have a safe place to land. A lot of them end up on the street. I've watched one particular case for the last 4 years. It started out as a minor. They kept skipping around with no place to go. And, you know, they're now adult.
Who's the demographic that voted to let rainbow mobster couples have children? That would be fucking women. That's why Rondo says that women should have never been allowed to vote. Yes, I understand the women of the past. You know, the power. I got all that. I understand. Believe me, I do. Because Rondo's mad that these women ain't living up to that standard. That's why he ain't scared to call him a raggedy bitch. We let women vote, and now this is the problem. This wasn't a problem when we was telling bitches to shut up.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
And all you pussy ass men that's out here gonna tell me I'm hurting all this, nigga, fuck you. Trying to tell niggas we the ones hurting, we bitching and crying because we tired of seeing the world in disarray because you pussy ass niggas was doing a shit job as men. I hate all y'all niggas.
Tom, stop being stupid. No, I think I hate them all. I don't like any of them.
And it's sad because they're still out on the street and there's still traffic. I mean, it's horrible. But, you know, the sad part about this is our society has blinders on, and we need to open up our eyes and look at this as not being a harmless activity. Not everybody involved in these worlds is dark, but they are using these worlds, the dark people are, to gain access to your kids. So we need to be monitoring closely those discords, those chat rooms, the games that they're playing, the people that they're talking to, the groups that they're joining, and watch that chatter.
So what are the number one ways? I know you've mentioned Discord a lot. That's for the gaming community. TikTok, I'm guessing, is a big way. Where should parents be most concerned and most aware?
Start being a fucking parent. It ain't just one place. Watch your goddamn kids, you raggedy motherfuckers.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
Watch your goddamn kids. Fuck your career if you're a woman. Fuck your goddamn career, bitch. Get your ass back in the house.
Get your big butt back in the house.
Brothers, put that raggedy bitch back in the house and padlock the door.
Get your big butt back in the house.
The fuck kind of questions are these? This is why we slipped down the hill.
Get your big butt back in the house.
Well, I think the top three right now are Discord, Snapchat, and TikTok. And the reason I say that is that when we go in and train and talk to kids, you know, we usually talk to them for about less than 3 minutes about the apps that we recommend that they avoid. And then we turn the floor over to them. And we basically give them the mic and say, teach us. Tell us where you've been approached. Tell us where people have been inappropriate. Tell us where people have tried to recruit you.
It should never come to that. Do you know why? Because your kids shouldn't be out of your motherfucking sight. I don't care about this modern way of living. Your kids shouldn't be out of your fucking sight. You lazy motherfuckers. I don't mean to attack the host and the undercover agent, but this is why men are necessary. Because all women are going to do is sit around and fucking squawk about it. Niggas get up and pull the jammy out and we start busting caps and asses.
Get your big butt back in the house.
Don't y'all see what's wrong with the world? Men ain't standing up. When men stand up, all these problems go away. If you a married man and a father, you know what I'm talking about. As soon as you put your foot down, all the problems start going away, don't it? It's time to do the same with the world, our child.
You've seen things that have offended you or made you feel like people were stalking you. And hands down, every single environment we're in, Discord is number one, followed by Snapchat, TikTok, and then Omegle. And so the kids are the ones that are telling us that this is where they're going, and a lot of them feel unsafe. And this is where we have the predators stalking them in these channels. And as adults, you know, we need to be monitoring these transactions and then finding out who these people are and hold them accountable.
And are any of these platforms held accountable? Would that be something that would be helpful to you? I mean, how do you deal with this? What's the number one thing you want to see happen?
Well, I think social media, I mean, becomes so, you know, polarized in politics. And it's amazing to me the things that they will take down off of social media, but they'll leave channels like this up that clearly has cartoon porn. And then sometimes you'll see a blip of human porn on there.
Welcome to the Asylum, where they're experimenting on your kids. We want your kids to be rainbow mobsters. So we're about to flip the world on its head and flood the airways and all kinds of frequency with that fruity ass shit. Smelling fruity and booty. And you stupid motherfuckers are looking around with your mouth open trying to figure out what happened when it played out in front of your face. But you weren't paying attention because you was too involved in the Matrix.
And it's an open channel. I mean, yes, you need to join the group, but anybody can log into one of these Facebook groups and they can see the stuff scroll by. They can't comment on it because they haven't joined the group, but they can see it. And if that means that, you know, it's an open channel, that means any minor can see it. And it's not harmless. You know, anime porn, hentai, furry porn is still porn. And it's still planting the seed in a child's mind of sexual activity and sexual gratification that doesn't need to be there. We don't even be having conversations about heterosexual or homosexual sex with an 8-year-old child.
And would it, what happens to the traffickers? I mean, how much does law enforcement really, how effective is law enforcement when it comes to the traffickers themselves?
I think the traffickers are being arrested, and law enforcement, I believe in a lot of areas, is doing the best job that they can. The number one thing that I would be pushing for right now is to make these traffickers register as sex offenders, because they are not registering as sex offenders and they're getting back out on the street and they're repeating their deeds.
And whose fault was that? That would be you motherfucking liberals. You Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris voting motherfuckers. You chicken nugget catfish eating Christians and hotep niggas. It's y'all fault. You simple-minded retards.
Some of them might switch from trafficking on the street to trafficking online. And if we have them registering as sex offenders, whether they get, 2 days, 2 years, 200 years, we have this penalty attached to them. And now they have to register just like somebody that's, involved in child exploitation. And, grooming online and trying to get kids to meet you and send you nudes. And they should have the book thrown at them just like any other predator. And unfortunately, it's where the trafficking laws need to catch up with the times. We're a little bit behind.
Back in the day, before all of our day, when men was real straight up men, without all the deviations and variants, we'd kill these motherfuckers.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
And wouldn't have lost no sleep doing it. But we let weak ass women open their mouth and put handcuffs on us. And now the world is burning and everybody's looking at us to fucking save it, but still want to talk shit. That's why I'm gonna die on the hill that I'm standing on when I tell these women to shut up and get out of the way while men are working.
I think we have a lot of good people out there in this movement right now that are seeing this, and we're bringing there's awareness to legislators and hoping that we can get some laws passed so that we can start making a real difference. But as a parent, you really need to be monitoring and looking at your child's activity, because the furries in the anime world is not harmless. They can be sucked into a very dark world very quickly because the pedophiles are hiding in there, those channels.
Is this kind of an ungoverned space? I mean, is this something that law enforcement are not really...
This is why, another reason why women can't be the leaders. They're always looking for somebody to do something instead of shutting up and doing it themselves. That's why you'll never be the leader. Because if men were up there and we weren't handcuffed with our hands behind our back when we were dealing with society at large, we'd handle this problem. It wouldn't be a news story. The news story would read, pedophile hunting vigilantes catch another one. That's what the headlines would be reading, not these horrible headlines we see now. This ain't no misogyny, this ain't none of that, nigga. This is order. And order got you bitches triggered.
Police officers are not really equipped to deal with, I mean, how vulnerable are our kids once they get sucked into this world?
Well, a lot of times people look at online activity and they believe that that's harmless activity unless they have actually exchanged photos or asked for a photo or committed a physical crime. And when people are fantasizing openly about raping children or tying them down or drugging them or performing sex acts on them, it's just a matter of time before they level up to the next level, because it's no longer going to gratify them anymore to voice these things and to make all their own videos. They're going to escalate that behavior, so they do need to be watched for sure. And if they are asking kids for nudes and to perform acts, then they should absolutely be prosecuted for that.
Jackie, what do you say to people who want to paint this as a right-wing slur against innocent communities and push back against this and say, you know, there's really nothing to see here?
I have some words for them. Turn and face the wall.
Well, to politicize this is absolutely ridiculous. I have never seen a predator ask children, how do your parents vote? What church do you go to? What nationality are you? They don't care. They want your children. You know, this is a bipartisan issue. We need to be pulling together because these are all of our kids. And these predators do not care.
You want to know why a lot of kids in my age range grew up watching shit like this? You remember when Bugs Bunny was out here cross-dressing, kissing Elmer Fudd? You know when your kids were watching SpongeBob? You know all the degenerate shit that y'all never called up Cartoon Network and told them to take down? That's why. And that's just a response to this article.
If your parents vote Democrat or Republican, they have basically hijacked the LGBT community by trying to hide underneath their flag. And I know a lot of people in that community that are appalled by this. There's a lot of people out there that are going to do everything they can to bring these monsters down. We just have to pull together and not let them divide us on this topic.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Jackie. We're going to take a short break. We will be back.
I'm very irritated and I'm on a hairstring trigger right now. So we're going to end this one with this. You parents better get y'all goddamn shit together. And you men, y'all better get y'all goddamn shit together. And you ladies, y'all better get y'all ass back in order.
Get your big butt back in the house.
And when men fix this, you better shut the fuck up. And with that said, I'm getting the fuck up out of here before I lose it.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy. Go on.
I am a human being. I exist.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions.
Send the word.